Hpu Athletics. Panther basketball is also brought to you by Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers, Red Lion High Point, Shinko Grill, and Pinnacle Financial Partners. Now, let's go courtside.
From the campus of High Point University and the Millis Center, we have Big South action for you here tonight. It is the High Point Panthers going up against the Longwood Lancers. And with that, good evening, everybody, and welcome inside the Millis Center. John Carubba alongside Harris Eisenberg. And for High Point, we'll start with them. They are coming off a hard-fought but a loss last time out against Radford. They fought hard, but ended up losing in overtime.
Anytime you can come within 3 points of the #1 team in the conference, it's special for your team, John. High Point in the middle of the pack, sits 5th in the conference. Radford obviously at the top at #1, but a good hard-fought battle by the Panthers in that game. Again, forced overtime. They shot the ball really well in the second half. They started off in that game 1 of 8 from downtown, finished the game 9 of 21. So that's a very impressive sighting there, showing from the Panthers, and let's see if they can continue that into tonight.
And also for the Panthers in that game, Brandon Kainga hit the game-tying shot with 24 seconds left, and they were down by as many as 9 in the second half.
Kainga's really impressed so far. He's second on the team at 14.5 a game. Also leads the team in three-point field goal percentage at 37.6. So High Point doesn't shoot many threes. They average 58.4 points from two-point range. That's 4th in the entire country. So let's see if Brandon Kainga can drop some 3 balls tonight and help the Panthers to victory.
And meanwhile, on the other side of the court, you have the Longwood Lancers, who are coming off an overtime defeat as well, 89-88 to Gardner-Webb last time out.
Yeah, Griff Aldrich was very impressed with their effort. They were down 12 at one point, came back, and unfortunately lost the game by 1 point in overtime to Gardner-Webb, 89-88. But they're getting some good showing from their players. Obviously, we know the situation with Isaiah Walton. Unfortunately unable to join the program at this time, but they're looking to other guys like Jalen Wilson, who scored 19 points in their game, and freshman Jordan Citron from the Bronx has a double-double in the last game with 13 points and 10 rebounds. They're a young team. They're not super young. They got a lot of wily vets in Chabuti Phillips and a lot of guys like Spencer Franklin. They've been other places as well. So this is their first year here at Longwood. Hopefully their veteran presence can help young players like Citron develop into better well-rounded athletes. Let's see how they perform tonight.
And for Longwood, they were down 10 points with inside 2 minutes left in that game, I believe. And with that, to come back and get it into overtime, that's quite a feat there.
Very impressive, as Griff Aldrich was, as I said, very impressed with this team. Thought it was a very good example of what his team is right now. He was very impressed that they were able to battle back. Obviously, Longwood not having the greatest season in the world. They're 3rd to last in the conference, coming off a game against Gardner-Webb. So maybe they can respond here. Longwood has beaten High Point already this season. That came back on January 24th. Let's see if they can respond with a victory here, but it should be a good battle between both teams tonight.
And for High Point, there's certainly, and you mentioned it, Harris, they're going to have to keep an eye on Chabuti Phillips. That's someone they're going to need to keep off the scoreboard. Ever since Walton has been gone from the team, Phillips really has had to take on quite a bit of the load.
It's about a 10-point difference from where Isaiah Walton was to the next leading scorer on the team, and Chabuti Phillips has done just that. 13.7 points a game for Phillips. At the charity stripe, he's been playing very well this season. 86.7% free throw shooting percentage, leads the Big South. They're going to look for the 6'1 junior from Houston to make a big impact the rest of the way.
And one other thing that High Point's going to have to do again tonight, and it's been a season-long struggle, they have to hit their 3 throws. They have struggled from the charity stripe all season, but that's something else they're going to need to do if they hope to come away with a victory in this one.
Perfect example of that, John. Last game against Longwood, High Point lost 55-51. They just shot 11 of 20 from the free throw line. They could have won that game if they just hit a few more free throws. So let's see if they can take advantage, getting at the charity stripe tonight and knocking down those free throws. I always say free throws are the key to winning basketball games, and they need to do that tonight to win.
And thinking back to the last game against Radford, they had the opportunity to tie the game in overtime with 2 free throws, but they missed on the second one, and then Radford was able to add 2 at the line, and that ended up being the difference, 69-66.
Yeah, again, top team in the conference, Radford. High Point was able to stick with them. Tubby Smith very impressed by the effort along with everyone else. And again, I will stress this all night, John. Free throws are going to be the key to success. They have Jahad Proctor, who again, team's leading scorer at 19.3 a game, is 8th in the Big South in free throws at 77.2%. And underratedly, a nice showing from Curtis Holland III, the freshman from Churchton, Maryland. shooting 70% from the line. Those are their leaders. Nothing spectacular like 86.7 from Phillips, but those are their go-to guys when it comes to shooting the ball from the free throw line.
So the starting lineup for Longwood: Spencer Franklin, Jashawn Smith, Demarion Jeter, Hpu Vs Phillips, and Jalen Wilson. Meanwhile, for High Point, Ricky Madison, Jordan Whitehead, Brandon Kamga, Curtis Holland III, and Jihad Proctor. So settle in. This should be a good one, and a Big South matchup between Longwood and High Point. Whitehead against Jeter on the opening tip. John Carubba alongside Harris Eisenberg. As action is just about set to get going here from the Millis Center, High Point in their home whites with the purple trim. So again, settle in, and meanwhile for Longwood, they're in their road blues with the gray trim. Tip off, and we are underway. Longwood gains control up the floor right to left. Hpu Vs Phillips, the point guard, has possession. He'll spin it top of the arc for Franklin. One-on-one, looking for someone inside. Kicks it left of the arc. Phillips from the left perimeter. Still searching, now plays it off, left block. Jeter posting up, working down low inside, bounces it out and trying to save it to the far side, but unable to do so are the Lancers. High Point takes over.
Good start by the Panther defense. Again, we've seen in previous games Tubby Smith playing that zone. They start off that way and they get a good start and they have possession. Meanwhile,
Proctor taking it up the floor for High Point, left to right. Top of the arc, gives off for Kamga, floats a rainbow left perimeter. Madison, one-on-one, working in the low post. Kicks it back top of the arc, Kamga. Proctor on it now, right of the arc, one-on-one with 10 on the shot clock. Bounces it mid-post. Ball is stripped and taken away by the Lancers. Had a hard time coming up with it. Phillips on it now from the top of the arc. He pulls up from the right perimeter. Chest to chest, top of the arc for Franklin. Phillips back on it again. Driving left block. Kicks it left corner. Wide open three. Swish! And Longwood with the first 3 points of the game. High Point starting back other direction, left to right. Kamga out of the left corner. Off for Madison for the top of the arc. A minute and a half gone by here. Longwood by 3. Right corner shot from Proctor. That's too strong. Longwood with the box out. Phillips racing it coast to coast. Driving right block. Kicks it left of the arc for Wilson. One-on-one. Spins it back. Franklin for a long three. Denied from long range. High Point with the rebound.
Good look, though, even though it was from long range. High Point's got to cut down on those threes, get their small guys who play up front in the zone out to the top of the arc.
Meanwhile, High Point carrying on. Mid-post, kicks it right of the arc. Three from Kamga. No, it was a wide open three, but wouldn't go. Longwood with the rebound. They'll push to the front court. Right of the arc, Phillips. He'll kick it back out high to Wilson. Top of the arc, going to play a far side. Bounce pass to Franklin in the right perimeter. Working one-on-one. Kicks it out for Jeter with 13 on the shot clock. Bounce pass mid-post. Kick back out wide. Again, Phillips going to hoist up a long three, and he's on target. And that one was from even further away, and Longwood opens up on a 6-0 run.
Yeah, that was Jalen Wilson from 3. Team's leading scorer in their last game with 19. He's looking to take that big load for Longwood in the scoring department.
High Point has it from the left of the arc. It's Proctor. Bounces it to Whitehead. Works it out wide right of the arc for Kamga. Tries to gain a step. Can't get free of the double team. Passes right perimeter. Holland plays it back. That pass is tipped and stolen by Longwood. Wilson right to left down the floor. He's racing for Longwood. Right of the arc. Lost control, but he drew contact on that play and a foul.
Seems like High Point's very stressed right now. They gave up 2 threes to start the game. They're down 6-0. And then the foul there by BK. His first personal foul and the first foul of the game. So Longwood starting off really strong offensively.
Longwood will have the inbound from the far side. They'll pass it chest to chest with Wilson. Playing it back far side. Jeter bouncing it off down low. Franklin right perimeter. Kicking it back to the right of the arc. Wilson driving in, looking for someone. Phillips right of the arc, going to hoist up another shot. Rattled in and out. Looked like it was going to go. Did not fall. High Point with the rebound. Left to right, it's Proctor. Storming the floor from the top of the arc. Floats into Whitehead, left block. Kicks it back out high. Kamga for 3. No, from the top of the arc. Longwood again with the defensive box out. Right to left down the floor. They're storming. Phillips going to kick it out wide, far side. Jeter one-on-one. Driving in. Mid-post spinorama. That one is good. And Longwood opening up on an 8-0 run. High Point left to right. Storming back. Bounce pass right block. Holland to the hoop. Oh, and he blew the reverse layup. Longwood taking it back. Long pass, right of the arc. Here's another three. Nothing but net. And that time it was Phillips hitting from a long way out. And look out if you're High Point, timeout. Already down 11-0.
Not a good start there by the Panthers on defense. Maybe they switch it up. We saw in the game against UNC Asheville, they started out in the zone and they were giving up a lot of points. So they moved to man, and man worked. Maybe they should do that right here. They're down 11-0. They're not getting the best looks on the offensive side of the ball, but defensively, you see big man Ricky Madison playing in the middle. He's all the way out to the top, and that's allowing the Longwood shooters to get inside, force the layup, and then when they close off that layup lane, they just kick it out and they have an easy look from three. Good looks by Longwood so far.
And so, as they talk it over, an official timeout will step aside. 16-17 to go in the opening half. 11-0 Longwood over HPU. This is High Point Panthers basketball on the High Point Panthers Radio Network.
Welcome to Freddy's. How are you guys doing?
Meetings.
Lunch meetings all week, all salads.
Quinoa salad.
Heirloom salad.
Frisee salad. Sometimes, a guy needs a Freddy's Original Double, Chicago Dog, and a Turtle Sundae. 3, please.
We understand. If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. And no one satisfies your cravings better than Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The experience that puts a smile on your face, and the taste that brings you back.
Visit Freddy's on Brian Jordan Place near the Palladium. They can't wait to serve you.
Back here inside the Millis Center on the campus of High Point University. 16-17 remaining in the opening half. Our score 11-0 Longwood. And so for High Point, they just got to find some way to get some positive momentum going here in the early going here, Harris.
Tubby Smith definitely not pleased with the effort of his Panthers. And look, they just got to shut down one guy. Jalen Wilson already has 9 points in this game, shooting 3 of 3, all those from 3. So Jalen Wilson, that's going to be the key to shutting down for the Panther defense.
Meanwhile, High Point inbounding, down the floor left to right. Proctor from the right of the arc, bounce it off to Ricky Madison, kicks it to the far side. Panthers left to right, down the floor. Kamga away from the double team, passes it right perimeter. Madison driving into the hoop and kicks it off the glass. Can't get it to go, but he drew contact and a foul on the shot.
Sometimes the High Point offense revolves around the big man, Ricky Madison, getting the ball down low, but he was more towards the far corner there, driving in. You don't see that often from Ricky, and he's at the line for 2.
So Madison is at the line, and again, we mentioned that they need to start hitting their 3 throws all season. Well, right now, they need it just to get on the scoreboard. First attempt is up, and that is silky smooth. And so High Point finally gets their first point of the game. If you're just tuning in, John Carubba alongside Harris Eisenberg. 15:56 remaining in the opening half. 11-1 right now. Longwood up by double digits. Second attempt at the line for Madison is good. So a good start from the 3-throw line, at least for High Point, as it's now 11-2 Lancers.
Madison just at 52% from the line this season. So if they can get Ricky Madison to hit their free throws and get the High Point offense going, that should be in good shape.
Longwood right to left, being pressed hard. It's Sean Flood working against Holland. Makes his way over the center court line. Flood from the top of the arc. He bounced it off to Cintron, driving to the charity stripe, puts up the jumper, left elbow, no good. High Point with the rebound. Left to right down the floor. Kamga right of the arc, off for Proctor, swings it out to Whitehead. Left of the arc cutting in. Left perimeter now swings it back out high for Kamga. For the left of the arc, he'll try. He gets away. Now left of the arc. Whitehead from downtown. In and out. Can't get the friendly roll. Longwood again with the rebound.
You know, Longwood's defense is good if Jordan Whitehead's taking threes. That's not something he does often. You saw Longwood had 3 guys in the paint. That's great defense by them as here comes another attempt.
Smith knocks it down from the charity stripe left elbow, and Longwood with their largest lead of the game up 13-2. High Point left to right. Kamga for the left of the arc, swings it out right corner. Proctor thought about the 3, driving in to the hoop and can't get the shot, but he does get contact and another whistle on the play.
A little bit of a late call there by the official, but that's good for High Point as Proctor will go to the line at a team best 77.2% from the charity stripe. So If High Point can hit their free throws, they just got to try to get back in this game in some way. The offense just isn't clicking.
Proctor back to the charity stripe with 14:50 to go in the opening half, 13-2. Longwood up by 11. And the first attempt is too strong off the back of the iron. Meanwhile, Jamal Wright going to check into the game for Ricky Holland. So for Proctor, he's 0 for 1 from the charity stripe. Hoping to get at least one of the two here with 14:50 to go in the first half. And Longwood still holding on to an 11-point edge. Second attempt from Proctor. That one is good. And HPU back to within 10. Longwood from right to left. Sean Flood slowly taking it up for the Lancers. Makes his way over the timeline. Top of the arc, 1-on-2. Kicks it left corner. Feeds it down in. Left block. Working 1-on-1. Trying to thread the needle. Loses the handle, but he gets it. Kicks it left of the arc for Smith. Smith 1-on-2. Works it out for Flood. Driving. Taking it hard. Dribble drive mid-post. Gets stripped. Taken away by Whitehead, but a whistle. And a foul called on the play.
That was a very late call. Another late call by the officials, but it's going to be High Point basketball. That was a very, very late call by the officials. So maybe High Point can play some good defense here. They played good on the perimeter. Let's see if they can translate to some offense.
Panthers from left to right. Jamal Wright has it just at the H of the logo. Drives in right at the arc. Back out to Whitehead. Crossover. Looking for a dribble drive. Gives off for Kamega. 1-on-2. Swings it out to the right corner. Bounce pass back to the left arc with 8 on the shot clock. Travel is called here against the Panthers, and so Longwood takes over. With 14:02 remaining and our score 13-3, Longwood still enjoying a 10-point lead.
Too many steps there from Brandon Kamga, the junior. Second on the team in points. They got to get him going. He doesn't have any. Jihad Proctor only has 1. Team's only got 3, so they need to get the offense going.
Longwood's been good on the interior, but High Point has got some good looks from 3, just not knocking it down. Longwood with the inbound, down the floor right to left. It's Shabuti Phillips, the point guard, on the crossover dribble. Still has it just beyond the timeline. Now he'll give it off wide to the right of the arc. Flood 1-on-1, taking it mid-post. Swings it back left of the arc. Phillips works it around for Flood from the far side. Back to Smith with 6 on the shot clock. Going to put up a long 3. Knocking it down from long range. And Longwood up by 13, 16-3.
Kamga right in Smith's face there. There's nothing you can do about that. That's just a great shot.
Kamega, meanwhile, for HPU, trying to get some momentum left to right. Now bounces left perimeter. Feeds the ball inside to Madison. Corner 3 from the right side. No good, but Whitehead on the rebound. Second opportunity. That won't fall. Kamega, third chance. He won't get it to go either, but he leaned into the shot and drew a foul.
High Point's got to get in the paint. Longwood's been clogging the paint. Proctor misses the 3. Jordan Whitehead able to get the rebound. Get a little bit of possession in that paint. Get some easy 2-point looks. That'll help the Panthers offense getting going.
13-12 remaining in the opening half. Our score 16-3. Longwood all over the High Point Panthers. Kamega is at the line. First attempt is up, and he knocks that one down. So for HPU right now, it's been a trying and difficult start. But one thing we know about them, Harris, you certainly can never count them out.
Never count them out, especially, when they come back from down 10 like they did against Radford. Their offense has clicked at times, and maybe they're going to shake up the lineup here, bringing in Katie Sanchez and Robbie Peterson the third. That can help them.
Second attempt is good as well from the charity stripe. So HPU, as much as they've struggled from the three-throw line, all 5 of their points right now have come for the charity stripe.
Haven't hit a field goal yet, but maybe a shakeup will do as RP3 comes in. Caden Sanchez in as well. Sanchez, the redshirt freshman, making the most of his opportunities as he's been getting a lot of boards and a lot of points off the bench for High Point.
Flood being pressured heavily, full court press by High Point as they're just beyond the midcourt line. Gus Okafor on it for the Lancers. Bounces off left corner. Swings it back out high to Phillips with 9 on the shot clock. Bounce pass to the right perimeter. Underneath the basket. Left corner 3. Okafor off the mark too strong. High Point with the rebound. Left to right down the floor. They'll control. Whipping it inside. Taking it hard. Sanchez from the left block couldn't get the shot to go as there's a whistle. It looks like it's an offensive foul called here against the Panthers.
Yeah, it was actually a travel, John. Tough call there as Tubby Smith was not happy with that one.
Good catch on that, Harris. A little bit hard to see from this vantage point.
Yeah, no worries.
Longwood will inbound. Right to left down the floor. It's Phillips. He'll make his way up the court. Now gives off for Flood. Phillips accepts the return pass, just hits the midcourt line with 12:25 to go in the opening half. Longwood by 11. Top of the arc, Phillips. Off for Okafor. Back to Phillips, going to put it up from downtown. No, that one wouldn't go. Longwood with the rebound. Franklin kisses it off the glass and banks it in.
One of the big things about Spencer Franklin of the Lancers, instant energy when he's in the game. At all times brings that spark for Longwood, and you saw there getting the offensive rebound and just muscling his way into the paint.
For High Point, it's Rob Peterson III who swings it right at the arc to right. 1-on-2, kicking it back, and that pass is stripped, taken away by the Lancers. Smith finishes at the hoop with a powerful dunk that time, and Longwood up by 15.
That's a big statement. You got Smith coming in and just absolutely a big one-handed jam. High Point really has to wake up here. That was bad. That was just a bad possession on offense with the turnover.
High Point into the front court. Proctor from the top of the arc whips it to Peterson. Back for Proctor from the right of the arc. Crossover, takes it inside, right block, can't get the reverse to go. Flood with the rebound for Longwood. Right to left, kicks it out wide. Now comes left of the arc. Smith going to put it up from long range again. This one won't go. High Point again with the defensive board. Peterson left to right for the Panthers. His pass stripped, deflected in the air. Madison gets it for High Point. He'll swing it out left to the arc, driving it mid-post. Right, has it underneath the basket and kisses it off the glass and finishes right at the window.
Got to muscle your way in somehow, and not the tallest guy in the world is Jamal Wright, but he's able to muscle his way inside the paint, get a rebound, get a layup. Big offensive possession there by High Point as they're now down 13.
Longwood from right to left. Phillips top of the arc, off to Jeter, kicks it back across to Flood. Far side, bounce pass. Good ball movement here by the Lancers. Left corner, Okafor with 7 on the shot clock. 1-on-1, bounce pass mid-post. Phillips to the hoop, can't get it to go. Too strong as Madison grabs it for High Point. He'll gun it up the right side. Proctor right of the arc, kicks it to the right corner. Wright had trouble handling the pass, and that ball is deflected and goes out of play.
High Point getting super frustrated. Not only was Tubby Smith out on his feet, but his son, the assistant coach Gigi Smith, was also up yelling at his team. So High Point in a little bit of turmoil here, down 13.
With another media timeout on the floor, we'll step aside. 10:15 to go in the first half. 20-7. It's been all Longwood so far over the Panthers. This is High Point Panthers basketball on the High Point Panthers Radio Network.
Welcome to Freddy's. What can we get started for you?
I haven't had a carb in 3 weeks, and if I have one more sip of a kale smoothie, I need a Freddy's Original double with cheese, fries, and a turtle sundae. Please.
We understand. If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. And no one satisfies your cravings better than Freddy's frozen custard and steak burgers. The experience that puts a smile on your face, and the taste that brings you back.
Visit Freddy's on Brian Jordan Place near the Palladium. They can't wait to serve you.
When you don't know what you want, or rather, you want it all at a great price, stop in at Sheetz. Our stores offer a massive selection of made-to-order food, handcrafted drinks, fair gas prices, and all the road trip essentials you could ever need. Everything you want at an always low price. Now that's value. Sheetz run and done.
Back here inside the Millis Center on the campus of High Point University with 10:15 remaining in the opening half. Our score 20-7. Longwood so far has had the much better of the play, and not only that, they've been knocking down the shots. For High Point, they're having a hard time getting the lid off the basket right now, Harris.
We're not even halfway through the first half here, and Longwood's got 2 players that have 9 points right now in Jalen Wilson and Deshaun Smith. They got to guard the 3 ball. Smith is 4 of 6, but 1 of 3 from 3. Wilson's 3 of 3 from 3. They got to guard that perimeter, but also inside. Deshaun Smith has been really effective from 2-point range.
As off that last possession, Longwood will have it in the backcourt, down the floor, right to left. Longwood with possession as they're looking to inbound. Good defense by High Point, and it looks like they're going to call a 5-second violation there.
No, I think Longwood called timeout. But that's a good wake-up call. That's good defense by High Point right there, not allowing Longwood to get the ball and making Longwood stressed out a little bit, trying to get the ball over half court. Good play there by the Panthers. Smart play by Longwood to call timeout so they didn't have to draw the 5-second violation, but that's good for High Point. They need a momentum swing. Maybe that'll change something.
It was a little uncertain whether they would give it to him, but they do indeed, and that, again, like you said, good play to call that. But for High Point, it just shows how much more aggressive that they're going to come out now, and they really have no choice, down by 13.
Yeah, they're going with quickness as Kamga check back in, Jamal Wright and Robbie Peterson, the third, still in. They bring Whitehead back in the game for Ricky Madison, so they're going with some quickness here on defense.
So take two on the inbound. Longwood again has possession. They'll gun it, and that pass is stolen and taken away by Peterson. Kicks it left of the arc for Kamga. Back to Peterson, driving to the charity stripe. Back for Kamga to right, from the right of the arc, one-on-one against Flood. Underneath the basket, and that ball may have been tipped, and it goes out of bounds. We'll see who its last touch on.
It's going to be High Point basketball. Good confidence there by Jamal Wright. When Curtis Holland III was out with injury, he got 5 starts and played really well in his opportunities. So Jamal Wright getting an opportunity to provide some big offense here for High Point early on.
So again, the Panthers do keep possession in the front court, left to right. They'll play it off left of the arc for Kamga to right from the midcourt line. One-on-one, being guarded by Phillips to Kamga. Left block Sanchez, one-on-one posting up, powers to the basket, can't get it to go. Free for all, ball is loose. It looks like Longwood has it and passed it out to the far side for Phillips. Great play there despite 4 High Point Panthers on him. Left of the arc, Phillips, swing it out far side, back to the top of the arc. Phillips one-on-one, back to the far side, bouncing it right perimeter. Good ball movement by the Lancers. Left of the arc, 3, no good from Wilson, and Kamga with the rebound for High Point.
Kamga, a very underrated rebound. 5.3 for a point guard is very good from Kamga. And again, rebounds are huge. They got Madison as a leader in the Big South, and now Kamga on the glass helping out.
Whitehead puts up the spinorama, can't get it to go with a one-handed turnaround. Longwood with the rebound, looking to hook up all the way into the front court with Franklin, just out of his reach a little bit down the near side, out of bounds off the Lancers.
A lot of good confidence there from Longwood, making that nice stretch pass. Obviously could not connect with Spencer Franklin, but when you're up 13 with we still got a half of a half to play.
9:05 left.
Longwood's got some great
on
confidence
the road.
on the offensive side. On the road, too. That's a good mention right there.
Especially considering the Panthers are very good here at the Millis Center. Left to right, it's the Panthers. Proctor from the right of the arc. Spins it out to Madison. Kamga from the left of the arc. Bounced it down in. Poor pass. Stolen by Longwood. Here's Phillips, coast to coast, right to left. Now bounce it off mid-post. Wilson to the bucket. Can't get the finish, but they do have a second chance, and now High Point gets in there. Again, free-for-all on the court. Proctor on it for High Point. Potential numbers transition. Left to right. Proctor from the right of the arc. He'll pull up. Guns it off far side. Whitehead left block, and now we get another whistle on the play. Clock stopped again with 8:26 remaining in the opening half. 20-7. Longwood is our score. As it looks like a foul was called. So for High Point down by 13, they got to have as many positive possessions as they can. Already looking at a double-digit deficit. And so off that last play, we will have an inbound with 8:26 left. And High Point will be inbounding. Off the play, mid-post. Holland for the shot. Rattled in and out. It was about 3/4 of the way down. Wouldn't go. Longwood with the rebound. Phillips right to left. Back to the top of the arc for Okafor. One-on-one. Off for Smith. Kicks it chest to chest left of the arc for Phillips now with 15 on the shot clock. Bounces it left perimeter. One-on-one, it's Jeter. Turns his back, gets out of the double team, passes it right block, underneath the hoop, and there to finish that time was the Lancers again, and they're up by 15 points, 22-7.
Longwood caught High Point in a mismatch as Kamga drives and hits a nice layup. Longwood caught High Point in a mismatch. Holland was down low in the paint playing defense against Smith, who's much taller than Holland. Great play by Longwood, but High Point responds with a layup.
Meanwhile, for the Lancers, right to left, they keep the play going into the front court. Left of the arc, Smith. One-on-one, guns to Jeter, working it to the far side, floats a pass in, right block, dribble drive, now back out. Okafor for three, no, would not go. Whitehead with the rebound for the Panthers.
Good defense by High Point forced Longwood's offense to the outside. Not the best three-point shooting team in the league in the Big South, but they're going to hit them at times, and they're cold right now from three.
Meanwhile, Whitehead has it for the Panthers. He'll swing out left of the arc for Proctor. Gets out of the double team, kicks it right corner with 11 on the shot clock. Kamka, nice pass inside, off the dish. Madison under the hoop with 5, going to have to put something up and gets the contact. The shot would not go, but Madison does go to the line for 2 well-earned free throws.
Good play by Ricky Madison. He's the big man on the team, muscling his way inside the paint, able to draw the foul. As with 6:57 to go, we're going to get a timeout here.
So another official timeout, so we'll step aside on the court. 6:57 to go in the first half. Longwood still in control, 22-9 over HPU. This is High Point Panthers basketball.
Welcome to Freddy's. How are you guys doing?
Meetings.
Lunch meetings all week, all salads.
Quinoa salads.
Heirloom salad.
Frisee salads. Sometimes, guy needs a Freddy's Original Double, Chicago Dog, and a Turtle Sundae. 3, please.
We understand. If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. And no one satisfies your cravings better than Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
Visit Freddy's on Brian Jordan Place near the Palladium. They can't wait to serve you.
When you don't know what you want, or rather, you want it all at a great price, stop in at Sheetz. Our stores offer a massive selection of made-to-order food, handcrafted drinks, fair gas prices, and all the road trip essentials you could ever need. Everything you want at an always low price. Now that's value. Sheetz run and done.
Back here inside the Millis Center on the campus of High Point University with 6:57 to go in the opening half. 22-9 Longwood up by 13 points. And for High Point, it's hard to imagine the last time that they were at home and only had 9 points this late in the half.
Just 2 of first 13 in the first half here, John. 15.4%. And they're 0 for 5 from 3. Meanwhile, Longwood's really shooting the ball well at just over 47%, 9 of 19, and they're dropping their threes. They're 4 of 11 from 3. Again, getting a lot of looks from 3. They've already shot 11 from beyond the arc. Let's see if they can continue that throughout the first half.
For Longwood, Jashawn Smith with 11 points has outscored for Longwood. He's outscored the entire HPU Panthers team to this point.
He's been really impressive for Longwood. He's been getting inside and also hitting his threes when he needs to.
Panthers down the floor left to right as Madison is at the line for 2, and he makes good on his first attempt.
Sean Flood's going to check in for the Lancers. Quick fact about Flood, he's from Dublin, Ireland. He's played on the 16, 18, and 20-year-old Irish national teams.
Talk about putting together a resume.
Oh, yeah.
Second attempt at the line for Madison. Gets the friendly roll. One of the few things that has gone right for HPU in this first half. And now it's 22-11. Longwood being pressured off the inbound. Phillips nearly gave it away. Far side Jeter tried to play it straight up the middle of the court, but that is deflected. Stolen by Proctor. He'll fire it into the open court. Proctor swings it left corner for 3. Boom! A big shot that time from Ricky Madison, or check that, Curtis Holland rather, and HPU back to within 8. Longwood right to left. Here's Jeter driving in, feeds it to the left block and throwing it down with a thunderous dunk again as the Lancers. That was Okafor, and they're back up by 10.
High Point was able to get their crowd alive for a moment with a nice defensive play and an good offensive possession by Holland. But
as now Proctor going to take a quick shot, and there we go again with the answer from downtown, and all of a sudden the Panthers starting to heat up, back to within 7.
Now 2 of 7 from 3. They just shot 1 of 8 in the first half from last game against Radford.
As Flood tried a long 3 to answer again, but that time it was too strong. High Point with the rebound. Proctor to the front court, left to right. Gonna play it inside left block, but there's a whistle on that play as there was hard contact driving into the left block. Clock is stopped with 5:49 to go in the opening half. Our score now 24-17 Longwood, but for High Point, they're all of a sudden back to within 7. They're starting to look much more like the team we are used to seeing from them
just
here at home.
Just a couple of good possessions. Obviously, Holland and Proctor, their best outside shooters, getting shots to fall. Getting Proctor going is a key, and Panthers, They're within 7 now.
Meanwhile, the Panthers, Kamga from the top of the arc, guns it to the left block. That ball is stripped, but we get a whistle.
It's going to be on Flood for reaching in.
And it looks like the Lancers not real too pleased with that call. But High Point does get the whistle in their favor, so with 5:39 to go in the opening half, HPU now in the bonus, 24-17. Longwood still with a 7-point lead.
That's one thing that's going to help High Point, getting in the bonus. High Point just at 3 team fouls. Longwood now at 7.
The attempt at the line, first one is good from Holland as he rattles it home. And for the Panthers, they've been very good at the free-throw line to this point. Usually they're not so good. That's been the problem for them all season. But right now, it's coming to their rescue, and it really helped keep them in this game to this point.
As we mentioned in the pregame, just shot 11 of 20 from the line as Holland's second free throw is good. Just 11 of 20 from the line. You hit a few more of those free throws, they would have won the game maybe 56-55. They lost 55-51. Free throws, big factor right now at High Point's offense to start.
Meanwhile, for the Lancers, right to left, Flood being pressured hard. He plays it to the center court, and it looks like it's going to be an over and back call.
Now they got to call Peterson for a push.
Peterson came in pretty hard on Flood, one-on-one to the near side.
That's why Robbie Peterson's in the game. Provides a lot of defense. You saw when they put him in earlier, he got that nice steal off the inbound pass. So Robbie Peterson making a huge presence on the High Point defense.
Meanwhile, Longwood will keep possession in the front court to the near side. Smith with the inbound. Off for Phillips from the top of the arc, one-on-one. He's still searching for someone. Guns it right corner. Flood plays it down low. Franklin to hoop, he gets stripped. It's taken away by Kamga. HPU left to right, kicks it left corner. Holland back again. Going to kick it to the right of the arc for Peterson. 1-on-3. Dashes his way to a basket and finishes as he kissed it off the glass and banks it home.
Nice play by Peterson there. The freshman doesn't get a lot of offensive looks. He's normally in there for defense, just averaging over a point a game. Good drive there from RP3.
All of a sudden, the Panthers back to within 3. Longwood right to left. Phillips under the bucket, kicks it left to the arc. Flood plays it back left block to Franklin. Mid-post, can't get it to go, and High Point comes down with the rebound. It's Proctor making the wise decision, listening to his coach to slow things up as he's just over the center court line. 4:30 to go in the first half. Longwood 24, High Point 21. Peterson left block, bad pass, stolen by Flood, coast to coast, drives to the hoop, misses the reverse layup, and High Point takes it away. Left to right Proctor, he'll spin it off to the left block, now kicked out left corner, Kamga on it, Proctor, top of the arc, 3, oh, and it was about 3/4 of the way. The roof would have come off the place, but no good. Longwood right to left, bell control, Jeter has it right perimeter, 1-on-2, puts it up and gets the reverse layup that time at the finish, and Longwood needed that bucket, now back up by 5.
Now it's a 2-possession game, High Point getting a lot of looks. I'd like to see Robbie Peterson shoot the ball a little more. He saw some pump fakes from beyond the arc, maybe he gets a 3 down, gets a little spark in the High Point offense, but they're doing really well right now, down 5.
Right corner, High Point with it left to right down the floor. Proctor on it, 3:32 to go in the first half, 26-21 Longwood. Left block, Proctor to the hoop, can't get it to go off the dribble drive. Longwood with the rebound. Phillips right to left, throws it off far side. 3 is no good from Flood, but Franklin on the rebound. Has it for the Lancers, plays it off to the far side. That pass is tipped it out of play. Looks like they're going to say last touch by the Panthers.
Good play on the defensive side by High Point, closing in on the outside shooters, but the lane for High Point is still a problem. They need to defend that lane well. Getting a little outsized there. See Spencer Franklin a lot muscling inside. Good play so far overall by the Panthers. They've really responded really well.
That they certainly have, Harris, and that's why you can never count them out. We'll step aside with a media timeout. 3:17 to go first half. It's a good one, 26-21 Longwood, up by 5. This is High Point Panthers basketball.
Welcome to Freddy's. How are you guys doing?
Meetings.
Lunch meetings all week, all salads.
Quinoa salad.
Heirloom salad.
Frisee salad. Sometimes, guy needs a Freddy's Original Double, Chicago Dog, and a Turtle Sundae.
3, please.
We understand. If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. And no one satisfies your cravings better than Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
Visit Freddy's on Brian Jordan Place near the Palladium. They can't wait to serve you.
When you don't know what you want, or rather, you want it all at a great price, stop in at Sheets. Our stores offer a massive selection of made-to-order food, handcrafted drinks, fair gas prices, and all the road trip essentials you could ever need. Everything you want at an always low price. Now that's value. Sheets run and done.
Back here inside the Millis Center on the campus of High Point University with 3:17 left to go in the opening half. Longwood at one point up by as many as 13 has seen that lead cut to just 5 now, as it's now 26-21 Lancers over the Panthers.
Longwood's offense has gone a little cold. They started out about halfway through the first half shooting in at 47%. They're now down to 44 for the half. High Point's really come along from just shooting about 11%. From now, they're at 27.8. They're 5 of 18 from the field, including getting some three-pointers from Curtis Holland and Jihad Proctor. High Point's leading scorer is Curtis Holland at 5. Brandon Camden's got 4. Proctor's got 4. They need to get those top scorers going if they want to stay in this game.
Longwood with the inbound down the floor right to left. From the left of the arc, Wilson to Flood. Top of the arc, gives it off Cintron. 1-on-3. Back for Wilson for the mid-post. Out to the right of the arc, Flood. Kicking it back for Wilson with 10 on the shot clock. Right to left down the floor come the Lancers. Smith from the top of the arc. Kicks it out, left of the arc with 3. Gonna have to put something up. A desperation 3, not even close, no good. And High Point with the rebound. Left to right, Jamal Wright, the point guard on it for High Point. Top of the arc, 1-on-3. He'll spin out to Whitehead. Gives it back, right of the arc, Holland. Threads the needle back to the far side for Wright. On the crossover dribble, 1-on-1. Takes it with 11. Now plays it left of the arc, Kinga. Pull-up jumper, knocking it down for the left elbow is Kinga, and back to a 3-point game. Longwood from right to left. Sean Flood calling out the signals. Makes his way, now controls top of the arc. 1-on-1, giving it back out high to Wilson. Crossover dribble, driving in left block. Kicks it to the left corner for Smith. He gets stripped, but Longwood stays on it. Kicking it back out to the right of the arc for Flood with 6 on the shot clock. Top of the arc 3, no good, and Whitehead pulls it down for High Point. He'll gun it up left side of the court, driving in, mid-post Holland with the leaner in the lane, and all of a sudden High Point back to within 1.
100 seconds to go here, first half. High Point now rolling on the offensive and defensive side.
Meanwhile, Longwood, quick answer 3 that time from Sean
That's
Flood.
exactly what they needed.
Boy, that was important. 29-25 Lancers with a minute and a half to go, opening half. Left to right, High Point, it's right from just beyond the H of the HPU logo. Crossover dribble, gets free of Wilson. Ball fake, kicks it out right corner. Gonna feed it down inside. Right block to Whitehead. Back for Holland. He puts up a 3 and drains it. And again, there we go. It's raining threes here, Harris. 29-28 Longwood with inside a minute to go, first half.
Curtis Holland's been a very impressive freshman, especially from beyond the arc. Has done it, and there's a great defensive possession there.
I'm not sure who that pass was supposed to go to, but it didn't get to anybody as it went out of bounds along the far side. Last touch by the Lancers, so High Point takes over, incredibly down by 13 at one point, have a chance to take the lead late in the first half.
Yeah, and Jihad Proctor's going to come back in for High Point. You want to talk about clutch. Proctor is the definition of clutch. When you need a big shot, look for 13 and White to have the ball in his hands.
Another guy who has it right now that's also very good at that is Kamga. For the left of the arc, he'll swing back for Proctor. On the crossover, 1-on-1. He'll look down low. Instead, he's going to take it himself. Left perimeter, Proctor. Beautiful finish at the hoop on the reverse, and HPU for the first time tonight has the lead.
Proctor's got this Millis crowd alive. Great comeback here by High Point. They're up 30-29.
With 25 seconds left to go, an electric atmosphere. You can tell it's a Big South contest. Longwood right to left. For the left of the arc, Wilson guns it left block, and Jeter went underneath the bucket. I think they said he stepped out of bounds, so High Point basketball.
Again, they have really stepped up on the defensive side. Nice job by Kamga. Normally the guard playing down low on that possession on the baseline. Good job forcing the Longwood player out of bounds. looks like High Point's going to take the final shot with 10 seconds to go.
Looks like they are going to play for it as Proctor slowly makes his way up the floor, left to right. From the right of the arc with 4 seconds and 3. Now 2, kicks it left of the arc. Kane got 3 at the buzzer. No, off the front of the iron, no good. And that brings us to the end of what's been a very, very exciting and certainly back and forth first half.
Longwood up 15 at one point. High Point crowd was getting really restless here at Millis Center, but High Point's able to come back, find a way. Curtis Holland III has been big from threes. He's had 2 3-pointers tonight. Jihad Proctor starting to find his offensive game a little bit, has some confidence with the basketball, now driving instead of taking the long threes, as we've seen with his offensive game. And they've really stepped up on defense, switching from a 3-2 to a 2-3, getting their big men down low, guarding the baseline and the paint. Overall, High Point, great end to the first half.
So we have reached halftime here at the Millis Center. Our score 30-29 HPU, up by 1. We'll be back with the halftime report right after this on the High Point Panthers Radio Network.
Welcome to Freddy's. How are you guys doing?
Meetings.
Lunch meetings all week, all salads.
Quinoa salad.
Heirloom salad.
Frisee salads. Sometimes, guy needs a Freddy's Original Double, Chicago Dog, and a Turtle Sundae. 3, please.
We understand. If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. And no one satisfies your cravings better than Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
Visit Freddy's on Brian Jordan Place near the Palladium. They can't wait to serve you.
When you don't know what you want, or rather, you want it all at a great price, stop in at Sheets. Our stores offer a massive selection of made-to-order food, handcrafted drinks, fair gas prices, and all the road trip essentials you could ever need. Everything you want at an always low price. Now that's value. Sheets run and done.
It's halftime on the Panthers Radio Network, presented by North State, the official cable TV and internet provider of HPU Athletics. Coming up, a recap of the first half, a look at scores around the Big South, and a breakdown of the first half statistics. Once again, we go.
And back here on the campus of High Point University, inside the Millis Center, and what can only be described as a tale of 2 halves in a first half. And right now, HPU using their momentum. They have a 1-point lead, 30-29 at the half over Longwood.
High Point just looked dead to start the half. Not playing very well on the defensive side at any part of the floor. They didn't hit a field goal until around 8 minutes into the half. But once they crossed that 10-minute mark, High Point started to get rolling, especially their freshman standout, Curtis Holland III, leading the way for High Point with 10 points. He's 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. He's also 3 of 6 from the field in total. The freshman's been getting a lot of starts lately, and that's impressive to see Tubby Smith having a lot of confidence in a freshman player like Holland, as averaging just under 8 points a game. It's been really impressive for HPU. Let's see if he can keep up 3-point shooting as the game goes on.
And meanwhile, for Longwood on their side of things, they started out exactly the way they would want to, up by as many as 13, and now they're down by a point. And Jashawn Smith was impressive with 11 points, but he's been stuck there for a while.
Yeah.
What kind of went wrong there?
Well, High Point really started to play some real good defense, especially down low. Jashawn Smith, a big man, was getting most of his points from inside the paint and some mid-range jump shots, but High Point really did a nice job of bringing their defenders up and guarding the Longwood shooters, which forced them to get the ball down low. And when they needed to play defense down low, they really did a nice job, especially Brandon Kamga and Ricky Madison, along with Robbie Peterson III up top, formed a really, really nice defensive core in their defensive zone. And you got to look at this. Jashawn Smith has been stuck at 11 for a while, and Chabuti Phillips had 9 points. Jalen Wilson had 9 points when we went into our first time out, has not scored a point since.
And meanwhile, it's interesting because for Longwood, we know how good they are defensively, and we saw that at the start, and then they kind of collapsed, and High Point kind of stole a page right out of their playbook. For High Point, it's been more spread the wealth type of scoring. Meanwhile, for Longwood, another player that High Point's going to need to keep an eye on in the second half, it's also Jalen Wilson. He has 9 points, and he's second on the Lancers in scoring in terms of this game.
Yeah, 9 points for Jalen Wilson, led Longwood in their last game against Gardner-Webb with 19 points. He's going to start to come on. He's cooled off as the first half continued, but he's going to come on and be a big factor for the Lancers, along with Sean Smith, who's also cooled off. So look for Longwood to get a nice spark from their coach, Griff Aldrich, in the halftime when they go into the locker room. I bet you Longwood comes out with a chip on their shoulder in the second half, looking to play some better basketball.
And meanwhile, if you're HPU, since we are the High Point Panthers radio network, what do you say to your team who had a struggle to start, but they resiliently fought back again, and they're up by 1 now? But what do you say if you're Coach Smith?
You got to keep the momentum, get open looks, and if you can, force the ball down low. We've seen Ricky Madison, Caden Sanchez drive the ball inside the paint. They've been getting fouled and getting to the line, along with Jahad Proctor. You got to drive. Three-pointers, yeah, they are crucial, but if you drive, they're forcing Longwood to foul and go to the free throw line. High Point from the free throw line is 9 of 10 at 90%.
And so for High Point, they lead at 30-29, as this is the halftime report on the Panthers Radio Network. We'll be back with a lot more of it right after this on the High Point Panthers Radio Network.
Welcome to Freddy's. What can we get started for you?
I haven't had a carb in 3 weeks, and if I have one more sip of a kale smoothie, I need a Freddy's Original double with cheese, fries, and a turtle sundae. Please.
We understand. If you're going to be bad, it better be good. And no one satisfies your cravings better than Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
Visit Freddy's on Brian Jordan Place near the Palladium. They can't wait to serve you.
When you don't know what you want, or rather, you want it all at a great price, stop in at Sheetz. Our stores offer a massive selection of made-to-order food, handcrafted drinks, fair gas prices, and all the road trip essentials you could ever need. Everything you want at an always low price. Now that's value. Sheetz run and done.
Back here inside the campus of High Point University from the Millis Center. It is halftime here. John Carubba alongside Harris Eisenberg. And if you're just tuning in now, you really missed a whole lot. So a quick recap of it. At one point for Longwood, they started out really on fire, up 22-7 at one point, only to watch that evaporate, and HPU pretty much just took over from there, and they now end up having a 1-point lead, 30-29, as we have reached the halftime mark.
I want to talk about one word that could describe the Panther team in that half, to end the half, is resilience. They really stayed resilient. You saw they never got down on themselves. Tubby Smith, got a little stressed out, but really got his team together. And that's what good coaching is, along with his son, G.G. Smith, doing a real nice job keeping the team together, putting the right players in the right situations, and they've been really getting some big baskets and good defensive play when they need it.
And as far as Coach Smith getting stressed out, I think we can pretty much say every game, when is that not the case? He'll do it even when they're up a lot.
For sure.
But for High Point to continue to run this momentum, again, they're going to have to continue to play defensively. They need to keep an eye on both Wilson and Sean Smith, as we pointed out.
Yeah, Longwood, ever since Isaiah Walton, went down, obviously not with the program anymore. They need someone to take over the scoring, and Jalen Wilson and Sean Smith are doing that right now so far in this game. Although they've cooled off recently, but that's because of a good High Point defense. I bet you, like I said, Longwood's going to come out with a chip on their shoulder. These two players are going to be crucial if Longwood can come back and take a lead here in the second half.
One thing that the Panthers have hit a big check mark on your keys to the game, and we kind of mentioned it in the open, how many times this season have we said about the free throws and big struggle, and it's lost them. Even the last game against Radford, it cost them the game. But if it wasn't for how they shot the ball at the charity stripe in this half, we may have a whole different story. They shot 90%, 9 of 10. Hard to do much better than that.
For a while, High Point's only points were from the charity stripe. They had their first 4 or 5 points from the free throw line. Ricky Madison doing a real nice job from the free throw line. He's 4 of 4 so far. And again, I will say this all game if I have to. Free throws are going to be the key to winning this game. Right now, High Point's up 1. If they miss some free throws, they could be down in this game. But High Point hitting their free throws, as you said, John, 9 of 10. Again, crucial, and that's a big reason why High Point has the lead right now.
And again, for the Panthers, they're hoping to get another win here on home court. And pretty much by the way they just demonstrated their resiliency here in the first half, they showed just why they're so difficult to beat here in this environment.
Yeah, they got the crowd on their side here at Millis Center. It doesn't hold a lot of people, but it can get loud here at Millis Center. They're 8-2 at home so far this season. They don't want to lose another game. They've won all their home games were against conference foes. Let's see if they can keep that up as we hit the second half in just a few minutes.
So we will step aside one more time. Second half action coming up next, as this has been, and you're listening to the Halftime Report on the High Point Panthers Radio Network.
Welcome to Freddy's. How are you guys doing?
Meetings.
Lunch meetings all week, all salads.
Quinoa salads.
Heirloom salad.
Frisee salads. Sometimes a guy needs a Freddy's Original Double, Chicago Dog, and a Turtle Sundae. 3, please.
We understand. If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. And no one satisfies your cravings better than Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
Visit Freddy's on Brian Jordan Place near the Palladium. They can't wait to serve you.
When you don't know what you want, or rather, you want it all at a great price, stop in at Sheets. Our stores offer a massive selection of made-to-order food, handcrafted drinks, fair gas prices, and all the road trip essentials you could ever need. Everything you want at an always low price. Now that's value. Sheets run and done.
Back here inside the Millis Center, High Point, North Carolina, 30-29 High Point in a wild and wacky first half. They have a 1-point lead over their conference foes, the Longwood Lancers.
Just look at the conference standings right now. High Point at 6-4, Longwood at 3-8. They don't want to lose another game to a team that's lower than them in the conference. They've already lost to Longwood once, as Longwood sits at 9th in the conference. High Point sitting in at 5th. They got to keep climbing. If they win tonight, they'll tie Presbyterian at 7-4, although Presbyterian is in action tonight at Winthrop. That game started at 7 o'clock. So we got a lot of action in the Big South. Speaking of which, John, we got that game. We got Hampton playing Campbell. That's a good matchup. Charleston Southern also playing Gardner-Webb. Longwood, obviously, here at High Point University. And UNC Asheville, the bottom team of the conference, playing USC Upstate. So 2 bottom teams in the conference going at it in that matchup. What I'd like to see from High Point here, obviously a big win would help in their conference standings, but also get a little more confidence with shooting the basketball. We saw Jahad Proctor. He's got a lot of double-digit point games this season. He's only stuck at just 4 right now, so hopefully they can get him going, a little more confidence with the basketball, get some good shots to fall.
MUF for High Point, they just got to continue to keep this momentum up as they're up by 1, 30-29 over Longwood. And again, they got to key in, especially on Deshaun Smith and also Jalen Wilson.
Yeah, they've been big factors. Just look at their field goal ratios here. Deshaun Smith is 5 of 7. Jalen Wilson's 3 of 5. So Wilson, as we said, both of the players have calmed down a little bit, but Wilson has only taken 5 attempts. I'd like to see him with the basketball a little more, maybe get some more shots. He's been 3 of 4 have been from 3-point range. So if they can get him going from beyond the arc, High Point's going to be in trouble. So hopefully for Longwood, they can get him going. And a big factor for both teams is on the glass. Team highs are just 4 rebounds for each team, as it's a tie between Jeter and Jalen Wilson with 4 rebounds. And Ricky Madison, who we see in double figures in rebounds a lot, is just at 4 rebounds to start so far. Key thing about Madison, he doesn't have a single offensive rebound in this game. He leads the Big South in that category at 3.3 a game.
And for High Point, they're 2-4 against teams from Virginia so far this season. And as you mentioned, with the full slate of games going on in the Big South tonight, the standings really are pretty jammed up. And so for High Point, this victory could help propel them even further up the standings. This is a huge game this late in the season.
For sure. Here's an opportunity to jump Presbyterian. You want to get as high in the conference as you can. Have that advantage going into the Big South playoffs and hopefully get to the Big South championship. And obviously with that goal, getting into that tournament in March. But right now, it's not about the tournament. It's about winning these Big South games, and this is a tough matchup here for Longwood. Longwood really putting up a good fight as one of the bottom feeders in the conference, playing a middle-of-the-pack High Point team.
And so for the Panthers, what do you think as far as the biggest keys to the second half? I know we pretty much spent halftime going over a lot of the things, but what do you really think they need to hone in on as we finish up here and we hit the second half?
Staying sound defensively has been huge. We saw towards the end of the first half, their defensive players have played really well. Brandon Kamga, Robbie Peterson III coming off the bench has played very well off the ball, has been playing some solid defense. They've been sticking with the zone defense. I'm surprised they haven't switched to man yet, but they switched up their zones a little bit, going from a 2-3 to a 3-2 and having their guards go down low into the 3 spot. It's done a really nice job for Tubby Smith's defensive squad. And Robbie Peterson, as we mentioned, coming off the bench, he's in for defense. He's done a real nice job so far.
And so for both these teams, amazingly, despite what a big aspect downtown shooting was from 3, later in the first half, neither team has shot that well from downtown. Longwood, 5 of 16, just 31%. Meanwhile, for High Point, only 30%, 3 of 10. So it's pretty amazing to see the impact that it's had, considering neither team has really hit that well from three-point land.
For High Point, from beyond the arc, it's a similar start to their last game against Radford, where they started in the first half 1 of 8. They're 2 of 8 right now in the first half. They finished that game 8 of 13 from beyond the arc in second half and overtime against Radford. Look for them to come out strong from the 3 ball here in the second half.
And perfect timing there. Harris, John Carubba, Harris Eisenberg, as second half is just about set to get going. So thank you for listening to the halftime report. And we're going to keep it right here as second half action just about set to get underway. Again, our score, High Point leading this one 30-29 over Longwood. Despite Longwood being up by as many as 15 at one point, 22-7, High Point certainly took over better of the play and flipped it in the second part of the second half, out-shooting and outscoring 23-7. As the second half is just about set to get going, both teams switching sides. Again, it's going to be a big key for High Point. We'll see how they do defensively on some of Longwood's top guns here in second half action. As Longwood does have the inbound to get us going here in the second half, down 4, left to right. From the top of the arc, Phillips, he'll spin it out to Jeter, right of the arc. Now right perimeter, Smith gets stripped. Back to Franklin for the mid-post. Back out high, Smith to the far side, ball nearly stolen, but Smith has it for Longwood. Kicks it right of the arc with 12 on the shot clock. Phillips kicks it out far side. Wilson thought about the 3. Now mid-post shot well off the mark. Kamga with the rebound. Good defense that time by the Panthers.
Good start on the High Point defense, forcing a real awkward shot by the Longwood offensive player. And let's see if High Point can respond with a basket here.
For the Panthers, top of the arc, kicking it far side. Proctor whips it around left of the arc. Kamga going to put it up from long range. No, that's off the mark. And Longwood with the rebound. Left to right down the floor, it's Phillips from the top of the arc. One-on-one for Wilson. Guns it out far side. One-on-one Smith. Looking to open the defense down low. Left block. Kicks it top of the arc. Phillips from downtown in and now can't get it. Whitehead on the rebound for High Point. Spins it out for Proctor. Feeds it. Nice dish inside. Oh, and Madison can't get it on the reverse, but he gets contact and a whistle on the play.
A little bit of a late call there, but a good call as Ricky Madison got slapped right on the hand. He's 4 of 4 from the line so far. He'll go back to the line for 2 shots.
So Madison to the charity stripe, 30-29 our score. High Point leading by 1 with 18:50 left to go in the second half. As Proctor staying into the game, it looked like he might have checked out, but he's staying in. First attempt at the line is good for Madison, and the free throw shooting continues as High Point now with their largest lead of the game up by 2, 31-29. Doesn't sound like much, but when you were down 15 in the first half, the fact that you're up by 2 now as the second attempt is off the mark, no good. Franklin with the rebound for the Lancers. He'll play it off for Flood, making his way across the timeline. Guns it left of the arc for Jeter. To the far side, looking for someone. It's Smith to Flood now, 1-on-2. Driving, has a lane right block. Off bounce pass, stolen away by Proctor. Numbers in transition. Bounce pass, Holland sets up, and unable to complete the alley-oop that time was Kamga. Longwood with the steal. Flood racing the floor, decides to pull up. That's a good play. Left of the arc for Phillips. He'll kick it out. Right of the arc, and Jeter couldn't handle the pass, and it goes out of bounds. Clock stop with 18:15 to go in the second half. 31-29 HPU. And now we're going to have a timeout here. And so it is officially going to be a media timeout. So HPU opening up the second half with good defense as they're up by 2, 31-29.
Yeah, Griff Walter's team is lacking confidence right now. You saw when the clock hit 18:50, he made a substitution. He brought Sean Flood into the game for Shabuti Phillips. Phillips has yet to get going. He doesn't have any points right now, but that's weird. Early changes made as you usually start your starting 5 out to start the second half, but Griff Aldrich is changing things up a little bit. We're bringing Sean Flood in early, and he already calls a timeout with 18:15 to go here in the second half.
Hey, in the Big South Conference, you go big or you go home,
exactly.
And this time they're taking some rest. We'll step aside, media timeout, 18:15 to go in the second half, 31-29 HPU. This is High Point Panthers basketball.
Welcome to Freddy's. What can we get started for you?
I haven't had a carb in 3 weeks, and if I have one more sip of a kale smoothie, I need a Freddy's Original double with cheese, fries, and a turtle sundae. Please.
We understand. If you're going to be bad, it better be good. And no one satisfies your cravings better than Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
Visit Freddy's on Brian Jordan Place near the Palladium. They can't wait to serve you.
When you don't know what you want, or rather, you want it all at a great price, stop in at Sheetz. Our stores offer a massive selection of made-to-order food, handcrafted drinks, fair gas prices, and all the road trip essentials you could ever need. Everything you want at an always low price. Now that's value. Sheetz run and done.
Back here inside the Millis Center, High Point will have the inbound. They play it off far side to Proctor. John Carubba along with Harris Eisenberg. 18 minutes to go second half. 31-29 Panthers as they work the ball to the right block. It got strip deflected and out of bounds.
Getting Ricky Madison going is going to be a huge thing for the Panthers. He does not have a field goal yet. All of his points have come from the free throw line.
Panthers with the inbound to the top of the arc for Madison. Back out high for Proctor. Proctor for the top of the arc. Guns it off to the charity stripe for Kamga. One-on-one driving in, right block, beautiful right-handed finish on the layup, and HPU up by 4.
Nice play there by Kamga. Again, as I said in halftime, confidence with the basketball from their leading scorers. Kamga with a nice drive.
Longwood from left to right. For the top of the arc, it's Flood. 1-on-2, try to get away from Proctor with great defense. Plays it far side. That went off a High Point Panther, I believe, and out of bounds along the far side.
Good play there. 2-3 zone go the Panthers. Ricky Madison, the big man, up top, along with Jahad Proctor, regarding a lot of pressure on the Longwood players.
From the far side, front court, Longwood with the inbound. It's played top of the arc. Wilson looking, going to drive in now, kicks it out for Flood from the charity stripe, kicks it left corner, one-on-one, driving hard, and we get a call on the play, and it looks like it's going to go against High Point. Judging by Coach Smith's reaction, he's not happy.
Looked like Holland planted his feet, but planted him a little too late as Holland gets called for the blocking foul.
And High Point, you could see they wanted the charge. They thought that should have been the call, but instead it goes Longwood's way. They keep the ball in the front court. Underneath the enemy basket to the far side, left to right, Flood inbounding for Phillips. Gets away from Proctor. That shot is rejected, and out of bounds it goes. As that time Phillips dazzled a defender, but again a great defensive play by Holland in the low post just to swat it away. Longwood again will keep it in the front court as last touch by the Panthers. Sean Flood will have the inbound. He'll kick it out to the left perimeter. Awkward J. Can't get it to go. Heavily contested. High Point, here they come. And Proctor lost a little bit of footing there as he hit the center court line. Bounce pass left perimeter. Proctor, sweet dish inside. And there at the bucket with a beautiful finish that time was Madison. High Point now pressuring Longwood off the inbound. They'll play it to the far side for Flood. Left to right down the floor. High Point with their largest lead of the second half, 35-29 with 16:40 left to go second half. Right of the arc, Flood, crossover dribble, waiting for something to open up inside, takes it himself, kicks it to the right corner, pass nearly taken away. Longwood on it again with 8 on the shot clock. Driving in mid-post, Phillips dishes it inside to Franklin. It's going to be a call against Longwood, and High Point takes over.
Sloppy basketball by Longwood is only going to help HPU. They've been getting some really nice possessions on offense, and now some sloppy play by the Lancers. Let's see if High Point can make it a 3-possession game here.
Panthers on a 5-0 run to begin the second half, up 35-29, 16.5 left. Right to left down the floor, it's the Panthers with the basketball. Top of the arc, Madison. guns it out far side to Proctor. Madison, give and go down low, right block, went up for the shot, could not get it, partially rejected, but he gets contact and a whistle.
Madison's been playing some real technical sound basketball right now, but drawing some fouls, getting to the line. He's going to have free throw attempts 7 and 8 right now.
One thing that High Point looks to be utilizing very much here throughout this game is the connection from Holland to Madison. They've run that play inside a lot, and it's led to some success. First attempt at the line is up and off the mark. That's only their second miss from the line tonight. But figures, now they're up by 6, and now they're starting maybe to get a little cold for the free-throw line. But again, it's important to keep that going strong. With 16-18 to go second half, 35-29. Now make it 36-29 as the second free throw was good. Longwood left to right. Phillips making his way over the midcourt line. Kicks it out to the left of the arc for Flood. One-on-one. Now swings out for Phillips from beyond the arc. Looking, driving against Whitehead. Pull-up jumper, knocks it down for the left elbow, and Longwood needed that. Their first 2 points of the second half.
Not just Longwood that needed that, Hpu Phillips needed that without a field goal all game, first bucket of the evening.
Whitehead from underneath the bucket, kicks it right at the arc. Kamga from downtown, no, but they get a second chance. Holland for the left of the arc. Fresh new shot clock for the Panthers. 15:40 to go second half, 36-31 HPU. Top of the arc, wide open three, short off the front of the rim. Longwood with the rebound.
Saw the Panthers bench stand up there. You don't see Ricky Madison take too many threes. Almost hit it there.
Meanwhile, for Longwood, it's Sean Flood. Top of the arc, threads the needle to the far side. Back for Smith. Top of the arc crossover, kicks it out. Flood from downtown. No, that's off the mark. Proctor soars up to grab the rebound for the Panthers. Right to left down the floor. Proctor pulls up from the right of the arc. He'll give it off for Kamga. Left corner. Holland for three. It's good. And HPU beginning to pull away, up by 8, 39-31.
3 of 4 now is Holland from 3. He's been a big factor in the offense tonight. He's got 13 to lead the way for High Point.
For Longwood left to right, they're looking for some type of answer. Flood from the top of the arc. He'll gun it out for Phillips. He'll drive in, right block, kicks it out right corner. Smith still searching. Working it back to the mid-post. Phillips gets away from a defender, banks it high off the glass, no good. As Kamga pulls it down for High Point, right to left, from the left of the arc, nearly loses the handle, gets it off for Proctor. Proctor slowing the pace with 14:20 to go second half. Panthers by 8. Proctor from just beyond midcourt, left of the arc. He's going to take it himself to the right of the arc, gives it off Madison. Taking it to the mid-post, has an opening at the right block, kicks it off the window and puts it in.
That's athleticism right there from Ricky Madison, the big man from the top of the key. Easy drive right into the lane. Easy layup from Madison. Panthers rolling, they're up 10.
Even Coach Smith right in front of us is loving it. He said, that's what I'm talking about, as HPU now up by 10, 41-31 with 14:05 left in the second half. We'll step aside. Again, HPU pulling away, up by 10. This is High Point Panthers basketball.
Welcome to Freddy's. How are you guys doing?
Meetings.
Lunch meetings all week, all salads.
Quinoa salad.
Heirloom salad.
Frisee salads. Sometimes a guy needs a Freddy's Original Double, Chicago Dog, and a Turtle Sundae. 3, please.
We understand. If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. And no one satisfies your cravings better than Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
Visit Freddy's on Brian Jordan Place near the Palladium. They can't wait to serve you.
When you don't know what you want, or rather, you want it all at a great price, stop in at Sheets. Our stores offer a massive selection of made-to-order food, handcrafted drinks, fair gas prices, and all the road trip essentials you could ever need. Everything you want at an always low price. Now that's value. Sheets run and done.
Back here inside the campus of High Point University, Millis Center, High Point, North Carolina. Our score 41-31 HPU, up by 10. And we said coming into the second half, High Point needs to keep Smith and Wilson off the board, and they've done that here in the second half.
At the end of the first half and now to start the second half, they have been cold. They've been staying at their point totals of 11 and 9 respectively. High Point playing some solid defense in their 2-3 zone, also getting some good opportunities from beyond the arc as Curtis Holland knocks down another three, his third of the game. He's 3 of 4 from beyond the arc now. He's done a real nice job as High Point's going to go small here on the defensive side with Robbie Peterson, Jamal Wright, Caden Sanchez coming in the game for the Panthers.
Meanwhile, for HPU, yes, they are up by 10 with 14:05 to go in the second half. And for HPU, this would be yet another big victory, considering they were down by as many as 15 in the first half, now up by double digits. Longwood from left to right, they have the inbound. They'll play it straight up to the far side. Wilson one-on-one against Peterson. Kicks it for Phillips with a long three, and not a good shot that time. An air ball out of bounds off Longwood.
Phillips just lacks confidence right now. You saw him pump fake it 1, maybe 2 times there. Long three, not good shot selection by Phillips.
For HPU, they have a chance to add on to their lead even further. Right to left down the floor. Top of the arc, Peterson for Sanchez. From the left of the arc, gives off to Jamal Wright, and it's going to be an offensive foul called here against HPU, so Longwood takes over.
They've been a moving screen there by Caden Sanchez. Sanchez gets a lot of opportunities off the bench, but we see Coach Tubby Smith, even with a 10-point lead, hard on his players. He wants them to keep performing at a winning level.
Especially with how we know the Lancers can come back as well. From the right of the arc, it's Smith. Kicks out for Phillips. For the left of the arc, to Cintron. From beyond the arc, he'll give off for Phillips. Working it to the outside. Left block. Driving hard, Smith. And after about 7 or 8 rolls, he finally gets the result on the finish. And it's back to an 8-point game. High Point right to left. Madison over the center court line. Kicks it to the far side. On it, one-on-one, it's Holland. Now kicks it to the left corner for Wright. He's driving in, looking, can't get away from the double team. Sanchez on it for the Panthers. Back for Peterson, right of the arc to Wright with 8 on the shot clock. Crossover, waiting, now to Madison with 4 seconds. Bounce pass left block, Holland to the hoop, can't get it to go. Nasty collision of the low post. That one was pretty hard that time, and we get a whistle.
Nice drive by Curtis Holland III. You see him most of the time taking the ball in the corner, shooting the 3 ball. Drives in with not a lot of time on the shot clock. He'll go to the free throw line for his, second and third free throw attempts of the evening for Holland.
So for Holland, he goes to the line. He looked a little bit shaken up afterwards, but he appears to be okay now as he's back at the line. This would be big for HPU to get their lead back up again as he hits on his first attempt. So HPU, despite all season being bad from the line, they've been very good here tonight.
Very solid now. Now 11 of 13 from the line. Been really impressive, especially Ricky Madison doing a nice job. Now Curtis Holland finishing up at the line.
Second of 2 free throws coming up here for Holland. Down the floor right to left, and he knocks it down as well. HPU up by 10, 43-33 with 12:45 left to play. Longwood from left to right. It's Phillips making his way over the midcourt line. Controls from the top of the arc. He'll gun it back. Cintron thought about 3. Driving in. Left block. Banks it high off the glass. Can't get it to go, but he gets it back again. Feeds it inside, and that attempt is no good either. But there was contact on the play and a whistle.
Tough call there on Caden Sanchez, who was defending from behind. Went straight up, it looks like, which is normally not a foul, but they're going to whistle the redshirt freshman for a foul.
So well-earned trip to the line that time for Jeter as he'll take 2 free throws. Right now HPU up by 10, 43-33 with 12:29 left. First attempt is no good. Too strong off the back of the iron. We're going to have a substitution here. Sanchez goes back on the bench at the 3 for High Point. Meanwhile, Kamega back in. And Sanchez is talking with head coach Tubby Smith right in front of us as he'll go sit down. Jeter, the second of 2 free throws. It's up, and that one is good, so he hits 1 of 2, and it's back to a 9-point game. High Point, look out here. Pass to the front court from the right block. Madison kicks it off the glass and puts it in. Boy, Curtis Holland's been good, especially in the low post. He's made a lot of good shots and layups off dribble drives.
Game high 15 points for Curtis Holland's really done a nice job from all spots on the offensive court as we're going to get some offensive goaltending there on Jordan Whitehead.
for Longwood. It was a little bit tempting right there. The right block, Phillips had it, and it looked like it may have bounced out, but then when High Point blocked it away, now that basket does count. 45-36 HPU with 12 minutes left. Right to left come the Panthers. They're slowly taking it up the floor. It's Jamal Wright, top of the arc. He's working against Phillips. Kicks it far side to Kamga. One-on-one, looking for someone inside. Still can't find anyone open with 10 on the shot clock. Drops the rainbow to the right block. Now from the perimeter, kick it back out high. Kamga gonna put it up from long range. Can't get it, but Whitehead on the rebound. Plays it back to Kamga, and they get a fresh shot clock. Great play that time by the Panthers. For the left of the arc, it's Wright. Crossover dribble. Off for Kamga, plays it to the left perimeter, that deflected, and it got a piece of Coach Smith. And I think he's not happy about it, as he's letting everybody know. He's even letting some Lancers know now about that one.
At High Point up 9. Tubby Smith just not pleased with his team. You saw him take out Caden Sanchez. Had a little rough conversation with him right in front of us. Now getting into it a little bit with Jordan Whitehead, as he was unable to get good position in the post. But overall, High Point's playing really solid basketball right now as they look to shape up their offense here in the second half.
Another media timeout, so we will step aside again. 11:26 to go, second half. It's a good one, 45-36 HPU over Longwood. This is High Point Panthers basketball on the High Point Panthers Radio Network.
Welcome to Freddy's. How are you guys doing?
Meetings.
Lunch meetings all week, all salads.
Quinoa salads.
Heirloom salad.
Frisee salads. Sometimes a guy needs a Freddy's Original Double, Chicago Dog, and a Turtle Sundae. 3, please.
We understand. If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. And no one satisfies your cravings better than Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
Visit Freddy's on Brian Jordan Place near the Palladium. They can't wait to serve you.
When you don't know what you want, or rather, you want it all at a great price, stop in at Sheetz. Our stores offer a massive selection of made-to-order food, handcrafted drinks, fair gas prices, and all the road trip essentials you could ever need. Everything you want at an always low price. Now that's value. Sheetz run and done.
Back here inside the campus of High Point University, we're at the Millis Center tonight, and our score right now, 45-36. HPU with a 9-point lead over Longwood. And again, Harris, for High Point, they've done a really good job. Between Smith and Wilson, they've only have 2 points between the two of them, and Wilson has yet to even find the score sheet here in the second half.
They're not just shutting down those two guys who are the team's leading scorers, they're shutting down other big players too. Jordan Cintron doesn't have any points in this game. He had a double-double in their last game against Gardner-Webb. He has been held off the score sheet tonight.
High Point with the inbound, down the floor right to left. From the left of the arc, it's Holland, working 1-on-2, trying to get away from the double team. Plays it off to the far side with 3 on the shot clock. Bounce house right block, and the layup would not go as it was right at the buzzer of the shot clock. And now a major concern for High Point, as it looks like that's Peterson down, and boy, he really, really looks hurt. And now he's shaking, but it looks like he has a hard time even putting any weight on that left leg.
Couldn't really see it there as Coach Tubby Smith was standing right in front of us, but it sounded like Peterson took a nice hard fall. Obviously injured himself, looked like his left ankle, as Curtis Holland's going to come back in. Ricky Madison will come in for Jamal Wright.
For Peterson, he even had to hobble back to the dressing room. So if we get any updates, we'd let you know. With 11:08 to go here in the second half, our score 45-36. HPU up by 9. Longwood left to right. They'll inbound it straight up the middle of the floor to Phillips from the right of the arc. Off for Cintron, back to the top of the arc. Jeter looking for someone down low. Phillips from the right of the arc. Oh, nice ball fake. Got by 3 defenders. Kicks it out to the left corner. Jeter on it now from the mid post. Gets stripped. Taken away by Whitehead. Right to left down the floor comes High Point. From the right of the arc, Proctor. Madison on it. Now to Holland, playing it right block for Whitehead. Traveling call this time against HPU. Longwood basketball.
Second time in this game where Jordan Whitehead's got a lot of room to drive, and he's just moved his feet too much before he could put the basketball on the floor. Not very good thinking there by Whitehead, and that leads to a Lancer possession.
For the Lancers, they have it from the far side. They play it back into midcourt for Phillips. Back to the top of the arc. 1-on-2, fadeaway jumper, knocking it down that time. It was Phillips from the left elbow. It's back to a 7-point game. Kamga into the front court, taking it up for High Point from the near side, from the top of the arc, working it out wide to Holland. 1-on-2, waiting for someone to get open down low, still can't. Instead, he'll swing it off for Proctor left of the arc with 11 on the shot clock. He'll drive it in hard. Proctor, right of the arc with 7 now. Madison for 3 left of the arc. No. Ball loose, and Longwood comes away with it on the rebound. Left to right down the floor. Plays it off. Cintron to the hoop. Rejected, but contact on the play and a whistle.
Ricky Madison seems to be getting very confident with the 3 ball. That's his second 3-point attempt of the game. We don't really see that often from the big man. And at the other end, Jordan Cintron driving in, looking to get some points, which he had a lot of against Gardner-Webb. He gets fouled by Jahad Proctor. He'll go to the line looking for his first points of the game.
So Cintron is back at the line and down by 7. 9:50 to go second half, 45-38. Again, just like we said about HPU's ability to come back, Longwood could do it too. So it's very important for the Panthers to kind of stay on them here and don't just let their foot off the gas pedal. As the first attempt at the line is up, and that is silky smooth. So with 9:50 to go in the second half, 45-39, HPU by 6. Left to right down the floor, Cintron to take his second of 2 at the charity stripe. Second attempt is up, and that one is good, and all of a sudden Longwood back to within 5. High Point gunning it up the near side. Holland from the left of the arc, off for Kamga. Kamga 1-on-1, waiting. He's going to take it himself now to the left of the arc. Back out high for Proctor, playing it to the far sideline. 1-on-1, it's Holland on it. Whitehead with 10 on the shot clock. Bounce pass right block, and did they say Proctor stepped out of bounds?
No, we're going to get a foul. He was pushed out of bounds there by Shabuti Phillips.
In that case, good job of working the ball around the perimeter by HPU. They worked it inside, and as a result, they got that foul call against Longwood. So HPU will keep possession in the front court underneath the enemy basket far side. They float a rainbow pass in. Madison from the left of the arc. 1-on-1 waiting. Bounce it off for Kamga. Kamga looking top of the key, now spins it off. Holland from the charity stripe, can't get it to go. Second chance won't fall, and there's a whistle again on the play. And that is going to be a foul against Longwood. It looks like they're going to call Cintron.
It's actually going to be Okafor as he went over the back of Ricky Madison trying to get that rebound. So, more sloppy play from Longwood leads to more High Point possessions.
Kamga will inbound it from the far side underneath the enemy basket. He guns it to the right of the arc, and that goes off of Longwood and out of bounds. Boy, Longwood's really contesting this call, and now they do change it. At first, they did call it going back to High Point. Smith can't believe it. He's saying, why'd you change the call? Originally, it was going to be High Point ball, and now they give it to Longwood.
So the far side ref called High Point ball, and then the near side ref right in front of us called Lancer ball. You saw President Cobain over there getting into the action. He was a little frustrated with the refs as he sits right across from us.
Nice shout out to the president of HPU right there from the right of the arc. Longwood controls. Now it's bounced off to the charity stripe. Kicking it back left of the arc. Phillips working at Wilson. He's going to put it up from long range. No, good. Not a good looking shot. And the second chance is blocked and out of bounds. We'll see who they call last touch on as the clock is stopped with 8:50 to go in the second half. 45-40, HPU by 5. Looks like they're going to keep the ball with Longwood, so last touch by HPU. So Longwood will have the inbound. Phillips looking, now finds somebody in the left corner. It's Phillips, 1-on-1, waiting to get away from the defense from just beyond the midcourt line. Now kicks it out to the top of the arc. Smith for 3. No, that's off the mark, too strong. HPU with the rebound. Right to left, it's the Panthers. Proctor leading the charge to the front court right of the arc. Now he's going to put it up from distance. No, but the rebound comes right out for Kamga. Kicks it to the left of the arc for Holland. Back out to Proctor. Good play here, slowing it up a little. With 8:20 to go in the second half, HPU still up by 5. Left of the arc, Holland. He'll feed it down in. Left block, Whitehead. Nice give and go dish inside. And Ricky Madison with the finish at the hole. HPU really needed that. Back up by 7. Longwood left to right. Phillips making his way. He'll kick it top of the arc for Cintron. 1-on-1. Back out for Wilson. Takes a bump and a foul. And now Holland looks to be shaken up, as they are going to call the foul against Holland, and now he looks gingerly. Remember, he took that hard spill to the floor earlier, and it looks like that's still bothering him now as he's limping over to the sideline.
Last thing that the Panthers need is for a Curtis Holland injury. He's had what a night for Curtis Holland III. He's got 17. That's 1 point away from his career high of 18. Set back when the Panthers were in the Bahamas at the Bimini Jam on November 17th. And he's been a real big factor tonight, leads the Panthers with 17 points. And
at the same time, they've already lost Peterson to injury, so we will step aside, hopefully, for HPU's sake, that Holland's all right. 7:55 to go second half, 47-40, HPU up, as this is High Point basketball on the High Point Panthers Radio Network.
Welcome to Freddy's. What can we get started for you?
I haven't had a carb in 3 weeks, and if I have one more sip of a kale smoothie, I need a Freddy's Original double with cheese, fries, and a turtle sundae. Please.
We understand. If you're going to be bad, it better be good. And no one satisfies your cravings better than Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
Visit Freddy's on Brian Jordan Place near the Palladium. They can't wait to serve you.
When you don't know what you want, or rather, you want it all at a great price, stop in at Sheetz. Our stores offer a massive selection of made-to-order food, handcrafted drinks, fair gas prices, and all the road trip essentials you could ever need. Everything you want at an always low price. Now that's value. Sheetz run and done.
Back here inside the Millis Center, High Point, North Carolina, John Carubba alongside Harris Eisenberg. And HPU holding on to a 7-point lead, although it has been a bit of a rough night for HPU, already losing Peterson if you're just tuning in due to injury, and now hoping that Holland's okay, and it appears he is as he's back out there having a huge night.
Update on Robbie Peterson III on the bench, but with a pair of crutches right behind them.
So most likely means he's out for the rest of the game. They'll play it into the top of the arc. Phillips and the Lancers take a three. Can't get it to go. High Point with the rebound, but a whistle. A push-off. Are they going to call this against HPU? It looks like it. Boy, we've seen a couple of strange calls here tonight, Harris.
Yeah, fans are very confused, along with Tubby Smith right in front of us. You would think if something, that foul would be on Madison for going over the back, but that was a clean rebound. They're going to call Proctor off the ball. Interesting call there by the officials.
Longwood with a second chance, inbounding top of the arc. Phillips driving in, putting up the shot. Can't get it on the reverse, but there's a whistle on the play and a foul. As Longwood's down the court left to right, and now with that foul against HPU, Longwood is now in the bonus with 7:34 to go in the second half. 47-40. HPU still nursing a 7-point edge.
High Point's close to the bonus, but Longwood's already in it, and that's huge. First team to get into the bonus, that means more free throws, and Longwood has the advantage right now.
Phillips' first attempt at the line is up, and that one is good as it went off the back of the iron and got the friendly roll. Meanwhile, Sean Flood going to check back into the game for the Lancers. For Phillips, this is second of two at the charity stripe. 47-41 HPU with 7:34 left, and the second free throw is good, and so Longwood back to within 5. High Point down the floor, right to left. Kamega making his way over the center court line, barking out the signals from the right of the arc. Off for Holland, playing it to Proctor from beyond the arc, waiting for someone down low. Instead, he's going to swing it back. Madison kicks it left corner. Fed to the left block. Whitehead. No look behind the back dish. And Ricky Madison with the finish. Boy, that was pretty there on that offensive sequence, Harris.
Textbook there by Ricky Madison. Really doing a nice job again. Nice reverse layup by the big man. He's scoring some more points now for High Point, getting his team going.
For the Lancers, they carry on to the front court, right of the arc. Flood wide open for three. Swish! Nothing but net. And Longwood back to within 4. High Point racing into the front court. Far side Proctor off for Kamega. He's going to slow it up a little bit. Proctor onto the ball again. He'll gun it to the left of the arc for Holland, 1-on-1. Working his way in. Back to Madison. Left corner Proctor. 1-on-2 with 10 on the shot clock. Trying to drive in. Does. Right block and at the rim. Banks it off the glass and in a circus-like bank shot. HPU back up by 6. Longwood left to right. Boy, Proctor on that last drive like a battering ram from the right of the arc. Cintron and the Lancers. Back out high, left corner, here's an answer, and that one is good from three-point land, and the Lancers back to within a one-possession game, 51-48 HPU.
Jalen Wilson now starting to get hot. He's got 14 now. He's going to look to lead the way as it's a one-possession game.
For the Panthers, they control, back into the front court, top of the arc, Holland. He'll drive in, ball fake, now kicks it out right of the arc. Spinorama one-on-one. Looking for someone instead. Proctor from the far side. Going to try to take it again. He does, and collision. It's a charging call against the Panthers, and the crowd is not happy. They're letting the referees know it. 51-48 HPU, up by 3.
It's just been a tough night for Jahad Proctor. He's got 3 fouls now, and he's only at 8 points, so let's see if Coach Smith shakes things up. He's going to send Jamal right to the scorer's table. Let's see who he checks in for.
Longwood Lancers left to right down the floor. It's Franklin from the top of the arc. Guns it left block. Phillips underneath the basket. Kicks it right of the arc. Back out for Flood. Gunning it to the mid-post. Phillips, 1-on-3. Franklin underneath the hoop. Goes for the reverse. No! Ball free for all. We'll see who its last touch. Still waiting for that call. Looks like they're going to say it went off a Panther. And now it looks like for sure, indeed it is, as Longwood's going to keep it in the front court. 5:16 to go second half. 51-48. HPU up by 3. Sean Flood will have the inbound for the Lancers. Right of the arc, Cintron off to Franklin. Kicking it out wide to Phillips. Flood top of the arc for the tying 3, and it's good. And Longwood has come back from 10 down, and now they've tied it. 51 apiece with 5 minutes left to go, second half. Settle in, we're in for a good finish. High Point right to left. From the left of the arc, it's Holland. Back out for Proctor. Right on it now. He'll gun it to the mid-post for Holland. Back to the top of the arc, Kamga. 1-on-3, floater in the lane. Can't get it. Kamga's second chance right there. Good determination. Kissed it off the glass, lays it in.
Nice determination, as you mentioned, John, by Brandon Kamga, following his missed shot, getting the offensive rebound, muscling his way inside the paint for the layup. High Point back up 2.
Longwood from left to right. Phillips controls from the right of the arc. He gets by a defender. Right block goes up for the shot, and is it a goaltend? They wanted one. It doesn't look like they're going to get it. Last touch there by Longwood, and in fact, head coach Griff Aldridge can't believe it. He's barking at the referee.
Yeah, Holland just smacked that one off the backboard. Gets deflected away by Spencer Franklin. So High Point looking to make it a 2-possession game as we get a little delay here for some subs.
4:22 left in the second half, 53-51 HPU. John Carubba alongside Harris Eisenberg. High Point inbounding from underneath their own bucket. They get the call that time. From the far side, it's Jamal Wright on the crossover dribble, being guarded against Flood, working into the left arc. Now plays it. Nice feed down low, right block. Kick to the left corner. Holland from downtown would not go, but we did have a whistle that came in late there on that play. With 4:07 to go in the second half, 53-51. High Point still up by 2. And they're going to call the foul against Longwood, so High Point keeps it in the front court. They'll inbound at top of the arc. Kamga working against Cintron. Far side for Wright. 1-on-1, kicking it back. Left of the arc, Proctor for 3. No, but Ricky Madison with the rebound low post, and he gets the foul in the low block.
9 rebounds now on the game for Ricky Madison. One more, that'll put him at another double-double for Ricky Madison. It would be his 5th if he could get another rebound.
And what's also significant about that, HPU now up by 2, and both teams now are in the bonus. As we do have a media timeout, we'll step aside. 3:54 to go. Getting exciting. 53-51. HPU up by 2 in Big South action. This is High Point Panthers basketball on the High Point Panthers Radio Network.
Welcome to Freddy's. How are you guys doing?
Meetings.
Lunch meetings all week, all salads.
Quinoa salad.
Heirloom salad.
Frisee salads. Sometimes, guy needs a Freddy's Original Double, Chicago Dog, and a Turtle Sundae. 3, please.
We understand. If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. And no one satisfies your cravings better than Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
Visit Freddy's on Brian Jordan Place near the Palladium. They can't wait to serve you.
When you don't know what you want, or rather, you want it all at a great price, stop in at Sheets. Our stores offer a massive selection of made-to-order food, handcrafted drinks, fair gas prices, and all the road trip essentials you could ever need. Everything you want at an always low price. Now that's value. Sheets run and done.
Back here inside the Millis Center on the campus of High Point University with 3:54 to go in the second half. Our score 53-51, HPU up by 2 over the Lancers from Longwood, John Carubba, Harris Eisenberg. And again, in a game that has been a roller coaster affair, it's only fitting that it's coming down to the home stretch.
And if you look at it by the numbers, the game has been really close, but in reality, it just hasn't. You know, Longwood gets off to a big lead to start the game. High Point up 10 at one point in the second half. Now it's a 2-point game. High Point leading as Ricky Madison goes to the line for 2 more shots from the charity strikes.
Now we're really going to see how improved the High Point free throw shooting is. It's going to be a big factor here as we're in a very close game late in the second half. As Madison will take the 2 free throws down the floor right to left are the Panthers. First attempt at the line is up, and that one is good. No problem there. And HPU back up by 3. HPU 54, Longwood 51. And for Madison, as you mentioned, Harris, he's had a huge night tonight for the Panthers. He's been a standout player as he gets the friendly roll on the second one. So the free throw shooting continues well tonight for the Panthers, up by 5.
16 points now for Ricky Madison. 8 of those points coming from the free throw line. Has just really been a consistent player for the Panthers tonight.
Longwood left to right into the front court. Phillips had the dribble drive, deflects off one of his players, goes to the top of the arc. Flood back to the left of the arc, and Phillips knocks it down from a long way out. That was almost NBA level range.
If you're the Lancers, that's what you want to see from Djibouti. Phillips didn't have a lot of confidence to start off the game, but takes a long 3 and nothing but net on that one.
High Point right to left, looking for an answer. Jamal Wright from the right of the arc, bounces it to Kamga, out to the far side for Proctor, back out to right, kicking it left of the arc. Kamga again, crossover with 9 on the shot clock, driving in left perimeter. Kamga, fadeaway J, can't get it to go, and Lancers with the rebound. As we come inside 3 minutes left, High Point only up by 1, 55-54. Longwood from left to right. Phillips across the center court line. He still pulls up from just to the head of the HPU logo, from just underneath the P, driving in from the right of the arc. Pulls back with 10 on the shot clock. Phillips, crossover one-on-one, takes it to the hole, puts up the layup, and gets it to go. It's good, and Longwood has taken the lead, 56-55, 2.5 to go. HPU right to left. Madison making his way front court, working it left of the arc to Holland. Back for Proctor. Proctor waiting for someone to get open inside. Driving, and now we get another whistle. It's going to be a foul against High Point, it looks like. So for HPU down 1, now they turn it over. And Coach Smith, again, is absolutely beside himself. He's getting pretty frustrated with his team and the officials.
That's tough right there. That's not what you want if you're High Point. Brendan Kanka just throws an elbow when he's throwing a screen, and he gets called for it. Good call by the officials, and Longwood now has a chance to extend their lead.
Longwood down the floor left to right. Cintron inbounding it off for Phillips. Phillips making his way, slowly taking it up. At this point, the clock is the friend of Longwood, up by 1, 56-55 with 2:08 left. Phillips one-on-one against Kamga. Kamga trying to defend. Phillips taking it to the right block, going into the mid-post. Fadeaway J rattles it in, and now Longwood is up by 3, 58-55.
Djibouti Phillips has come alive in this second half, averaging 13.7 a game. Didn't have a bucket in the first half. He's now got 13.
High Point right to left, controls right of the arc. Whitehead from the top of the arc this time. Mid-post, gets a call this time, a whistle. And this time it does look like it's going to go against Longwood, Harris.
It's going to be on Jordan Cintron. That's his 3rd foul. Now 2 big free throws here for Jordan Whitehead.
For the Panthers now at 1 point up by 10, now trailing by 3 with 1:37 left. They have to continue the free throw shooting. It can't abandon them now this late in the game. Whitehead's first attempt for the charity stripe is good, and so it's back to a 2-point game. Well, it looks like they've got the free throw shooting touch here tonight, so if they look to come back, that's maybe something they can go to. We'll see if they continue the ball movement as we progress later on here in the second half. Second attempt is good as well. And our score at the minute 37 left, 58-57, Longwood up by a point.
2 big free throws there for Jordan Whitehead. As you mentioned, John, High Point's had the free throw touch so far in this one. They've shot the ball really well from the charity stripe, but can they get a big defensive stop here against the Lancers offense that has been surging as of late?
Again, with a minute 37 left to go, 58-57, Longwood is up by a point. And for HPU right now, they're on the wrong side of a big run here from the Lancers.
Yeah, it's just been a tough go of it. As we mentioned, Djibouti Phillips has come alive, 13 points, didn't have any points in the first half. The Panthers have done a nice job of containing Jashawn Smith, but Jalen Wilson's getting his game going. He's at 14. Sean Flood has been huge from 3. One of his three-pointers gave Longwood the lead. So they've been getting some clutch shots as Flood returns to the game here.
So for HPU, they took a 30-second timeout, so we kept it right here along the High Point Radio Network. Minute 37 left, Longwood by 1. They inbound in the backcourt, down floor, left to right. Flood playing it straight up the middle of the floor to Phillips, working his way across the midcourt line. 1-on-1, waiting for someone inside, but again, he's in no hurry with a minute 20 left. He controls from the right of the arc. 1-on-2. Phillips kicks it out to Flood for 3, right of the arc. No, off the front of the rim. High Point with the rebound.
Good force shot. Sean Flood puts it up way short. Now let's see if High Point can get a big bucket here to take the lead with just over a minute to go.
Kamga on it for the Panthers, right to left. Crossover, top of the arc. Kicks it out, far side to Proctor. Back to Whitehead as we're inside a minute left to go. And Longwood up by a point. For the left of the arc, Kamga with 7 on the shot clock, left of the arc. Proctor driving in left block, gets the finish at the bucket. A beautiful play on the reverse that time. A give and go inside. 59-58 HPU.
Told you in the first half, look for 13 and White to hit the clutch shot. Does here. High Point up 1.
And now Longwood, as Phillips drove in from the right block, he had a lane to the bucket, but he got a whistle. And it looks like it's going to be a foul called here against the Panthers. Clock stop with 38.6 left. Our score 59-58. High Point with a 1-point edge.
Yeah, 10 team fouls now for High Point in the half. Kamga's 4th personal. It's going to be 2 shots for Djibouti Phillips. Could give Longwood the lead here.
And again, as you mentioned, Phillips has certainly come on with a resurgence. He did not look good in the first half and certainly not in the early part of the second half, but he really has come up big for the Lancers here late in the second half as he knocks down the first attempt, and we are all knotted up at 59 apiece with 38.6 seconds left. I guess all I could say at this point here is buckle up your seatbelts. We're going to be in for quite a finish here, a bumpy landing with 38.6 left and tied at 59. Second attempt is good as well, and so now Longwood is up by 1 as the game of tug-of-war continues. High Point down the floor right to left. Proctor making his way over the midcourt line. 30 seconds left. Proctor, crossover dribble. He's working against Wilson. Right now just kind of taking his time looking for someone with 14 on the game clock, 22. Check that, 14 on the shot clock, 22 on the game clock. Left of the arc, Kamga, 1-on-1. Drives in, went up for the shot in the left block, and a call against High Point. Kamga can't believe it.
Kamga's looking for the foul, lost the ball, no foul called. It's Lancer basketball, as I'm surprised Coach Smith hasn't used one of his timeouts. He's got 2 left.
As Longwood now gets fouled on the inbound to the far side, and this is what you want if you're Longwood. You hit your 3 throws, you're in good shape. If you miss your 3 throws, High Point still has a chance with 10.7 left in the second half. 60-59 Longwood. Again, the refereeing all night long. They've kind of heard grumbles from both sides here, Harris. And High Point's a little bit surprised that they didn't get a call on that one. But the referees decided to let him play. First attempt for Phillips is good, and he's been good from the line tonight for Longwood all game long, especially down the stretch here. With 10.7 left to go in the second half, 61-59, Longwood up by 2. Here comes the second of 2 free throws for Phillips. Puts it up and rattles it in. And so now High Point needs a timeout. They need a 3 just to tie. For HPU, they have been okay in overtime so far this season. They did it last game against Radford, and if HPU could find a way to tie it, that'd be huge. They inbound from the near side, right to left as Proctor, and HPU now call timeout as he hit the center court line in stride. So now the clock is stopped with 7.1 left to go. And Longwood up by 3, 62-59.
Tough situation here for High Point. They need a 3 to tie the game, just 7.1 seconds to go. It's either you hit a 3 or Longwood ends up winning this basketball game. If I'm High Point, you either inbound to Kamga or Proctor. You're definitely inbounding the ball to Proctor. Let's see if they can swing it to find Kamga open. Let's see if they can hit a 3. They need one here. And let's see if they can get the ball into the hands of 13 or 1 in purple and white.
For Longwood, if you're the head coach, Griff Aldrich, do you double-team Kamga? Given what Kamga did in the last game against Radford, hitting that game-tying 3 with 24 seconds left.
It's a good idea because the other shooters on High Point aren't really known for their three-point shooting. So you're right, at 37.6% from 3. Good idea to double-team Kamga. But all Griff Aldrich is going to tell his team is just push out on the shooters, no matter who it is. Just got to push out. Who cares if they drive in the lane and take a 2-pointer? You still have the lead if they take a 2.
Both teams now down to just 1 timeout remaining. And again, with it being such a critical situation, 1-possession game, we're going to keep it right here on the HPU Radio Network. 7.1 seconds left. 62-59 Longwood as they're up by 3. John Carubba alongside Harris Eisenberg. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And again, we thought with it being Big South action, it was going to be a great game. And that's what exactly it's been so far. As High Point off the timeout, it all comes down to this. They'll have the inbound in the front court along the near side. Kamga will do the inbounding for the Panthers. So Kamga, maybe he inbounds to avoid the double team. He'll play it back center court with 5 seconds left. Left of the arc. Kamga for 3. An air ball. No good. Whitehead back to the right of the arc. That one won't count, and there's your game. Longwood, give them credit. Despite being down 10 in the second half, they find a way to come back and win. Your final score, Longwood 62, High Point 59.
Yeah, tough possession there as Kamga had about 5 seconds to go. Was guarded really heavily as he shows his frustration, kicking over a chair. Overall, you got to look at the start for Longwood as being a big factor in that game. Longwood got off to a good start. They were up 15 at one point. And basically that right there, High Point really took over the game from the end of the first to the beginning of the second. And the late push by Longwood and Shabuti Phillips leading the way with 16 points basically put the dagger in High Point's hopes.
So we'll come back and wrap it up right after this on the High Point Panthers Radio Network. The final score in a close and entertaining contest, Longwood 62, High Point 59. This is High Point Panthers basketball on the High Point Panthers Radio Network.
Welcome to Freddy's. What can we get started for you?
I haven't had a carb in 3 weeks, and if I have one more sip of a kale smoothie, I need a Freddy's Original double with cheese, fries, and a turtle sundae. Please.
We understand. If you're gonna be bad, it better be good. And no one satisfies your cravings better than Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers. The experience that puts a smile on your face and the taste that brings you back.
Visit Freddy's on Brian Jordan Place near the Palladium. They can't wait to serve you.
When you don't know what you want, or rather, you want it all at a great price, stop in at Sheetz. Our stores offer a massive selection of made-to-order food, handcrafted drinks, fair gas prices, and all the road trip essentials you could ever need. Everything you want at an always low price. Now that's value. Sheetz run and done.
Back here inside the Millis Center on the campus of High Point University, as this officially is the High Point Panthers postgame show on the High Point Panthers Radio Network. Apologies for the technical difficulties, so we're not going to have an open, but it is still the High Point Panthers postgame. And again, our final score here tonight, 62-59, Longwood over the High Point Panthers. And for High Point, a well-fought game, but again, a tough loss, especially here on home court.
Good resiliency by the Panthers to come back after Longwood got off to probably just one of the best starts they've had all season. They were up 15 at one point. High Point obviously was able to take a 1-point lead going into the half, but it's Longwood was able to push at the right times to get the key buckets, especially Hpu Phillips and Sean Flood coming up clutch from beyond the arc and at the free throw line. Really just put the dagger in High Point's hopes, and unfortunately High Point comes away with a loss in this one.
For Longwood, the player of the game, again, as you mentioned, has to be Hpu Phillips. 17 points on the game, and he really, whenever they needed him, he came up with that big shot. And then he was also very good hitting some clutch free throws down the stretch.
All of his 17 points came in the second half as he really, again, I told you Longwood was going to come out with a chip on their shoulder, and Hpu Phillips did just that. Was real confident with the basketball, had 17 points in the half, and he was the key to Longwood's success here at Millis Center.
And at the same time for the Panthers, now after suffering this tough defeat, how do you get back on track if you're Coach Smith in preparation for their next game?
Well, it was a good effort. Again, resiliency. He has to like the way his team battled back, but unfortunately, they just couldn't play 40 minutes complete. He's going to go into his room. He's going to talk to his guys. You got to play a complete 40 minutes of basketball, and unfortunately, in the final few minutes of the game, they just couldn't hold on.
So for High Point, the next time they'll be back here at the Millis Center is going to be Saturday, February 23rd against the Gardner-Webb Bulldogs, who we know in that big struggle with Longwood, they could certainly put points on the board.
89 points. Anytime you get to score in the 80s, look at this. We were just in the 50s and 60s. Anytime you score in the 80s, that's a good basketball game. Gardner-Webb's got a good team. They're going to put up points, and they're going to give High Point a challenge here on home court.
And, of course, they're trying to go neck and neck with Radford for supremacy in the Big South Conference.
Yeah, obviously a big slate of games tonight. High Point could have jumped a couple teams like Presbyterian and Winthrop, couldn't hold on for the win here. And Gardner-Webb sitting atop, especially with their scoring, is going to give High Point a tough test this coming Saturday.
And with that, that's going to do it from here courtside in the Millis Center on the campus of High Point University. Once again, your final score, 62-59. Longwood with a 3-point win against the High Point Panthers. For Harris Eisenberg and our entire SportsLink crew, I'm John Carubba. Thank you so much for listening. This has been a production of High Point Panthers basketball on the High Point Panthers Radio Network. Again, your final score, 62-59. Longwood with the 3-point win. Have a great night, everybody.